Good evening, everyone. This is student meteorologist Daniela Streety, and welcome to the Thursday night edition of FSU weather. Currently behind me, nice look at Doak with a little bit of pinks and purples as the sun is beginning to set. Mostly cloudy skies, however, 74 degrees, calm winds, and hopefully we can see a little bit of a clear out and a cool down. Currently across the area with overcast skies and rain today, we're seeing mostly in the low to mid 70s today. 74 in Tallahassee, 72 in Valdosta. Dew points right now are still staying fairly muggy. However, we can see a little bit of drier air coming into the Big Bend in South Georgia, which we can anticipate for our Friday into this weekend. And even looking at our radar, we have some passing showers leaving the area as we have a cold front pushing through. And going to tonight, we're going to see partly cloudy skies. We may even dip into the mid 50s, which is something to look forward to as well. Going into tomorrow, we're going to see some cooler mid 70s, and to look forward to today, a bit of a rainy day in Tallahassee, but cooler weather is on the way. Late season activity in the tropics and your end of the week sportscast all here on FSU weather.
Edition of FSU weather. This is Matthew, isn't it?
And this is student meteorologist Daniela Streety. And what a week we've had. Some rainy days, and now we got a lot better weather to look forward to.
Yeah, there was some rain today during my dynamics test, but you'll see tonight those temperatures will start cooling down, which will be very nice for us here as we want to see those 70s and much less of those 80s.
Yeah, we've definitely been experiencing a lot of above average temperatures, but as we take a look into our local in a second, we'll be able to see a lot cooler, more sort of fall-like temperatures into the Tallahassee area. So Matthew, take us to the local.
Yeah, as we look outside at Doak Campbell Stadium, you can see we have a beautiful sunset thanks to those clouds. With it being very cloudy outside right now, temperature sitting in the 70s, but luckily we will start seeing that cool down thanks to that cold front as it just pushes on through here in the Big Bend region. Some cloud coverage will persist tomorrow, but it will start clearing out more as that cold front pushes all the way through here in Tallahassee. Our temperatures right now, we're sitting in the mid 70s. Apalachicola is a little bit warmer than everybody else, but overall, very nice right now. But those mugginess outside will persist thanks to that rain earlier today, which has kept our humidity at a very high level right now. But thanks to that cold front that's going to push through, it's going to dry us out a lot more and make us a little bit more dry, which will allow us to just be very nice outside with our temperatures. We are above our average once again, and our low is way above where we want it to be as we were sitting at the 60s and 40s. Tonight, well, we will drop into the 50s with those clouds, which will be very nice for us here, as a lot of people have been wondering, when is that cold weather coming back? Well, it's here right now as those 50s will push in tonight with those clouds. Our eastern counties over here in Valdosta and Madison will start seeing a little bit more rain as that cold front continues to push on through tonight. Tomorrow, the clouds will stick around, but you'll see we're not going to be as warm as we were today. Thanks to that cold front, it'll be sitting in the mid 70s with some clouds, some gusty winds out of the north as that cold front continues to push through here in Tallahassee. For your plans tomorrow, you can see the temperatures will be sitting very nicely. We'll start out, you're going to want that jacket in the morning as it will start out in the 50s, but by noon we're sitting around that comfortable t-shirt and shorts range. So you just might want a hoodie or a light jacket as it will start warming up. Tomorrow, much of the area is going to be sitting around the 70s here in Bainbridge and Quincy, just around the 70 mark. And just to the north of us here in Thomasville, we'll be sitting at 69. So just be aware that it will be cooler, but not a whole lot cooler. But as we take a look at the 7-day forecast with our weekend always in view, you can see the clouds will clear out this weekend thanks to that cold front and the high pressure sitting. But Tuesday and Wednesday, the rain will start showing up again with some clouds, but those temperatures will really start dropping thanks to another small cold front next week. So Danielle, what is it looking like right now around Florida?
Yes, thank you, Matthew. So around Florida, a lot of us are going to see a little bit of relief. We're seeing some beautiful sunsets, however, across the whole entire state. Panama City, check it out. Look at those wonderful color gradients we got going on with the yellows and pinks and purples. Orlando as well with the metro skyline. Got a little bit of passing clouds. Same for Miami and Tampa. A little bit of overcast skies as this cold front is going to enter most of the state, but some of us can see a little bit of relief. Currently across the state, we have 72 in Pensacola, Jacksonville, 78 in Orlando, 80 in Key West, a little bit cooler in Miami at 77. And going into this weekend, we'll see some pretty pleasant weather in Miami. So if you're going to the 305 this weekend, we'll see some upper 80s. And as a cold front pushes through, it will move to 81 and chances of rain will remain low. If we go to Tampa, much of the same story. We're going to see a beautiful day, especially, however, on Saturday. It's not a cloud in the sky expected. Highs in the low 80s across Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as well. Orlando, if you're planning to enjoy the parks this weekend, we will see some upper 70s and low 80s, mostly sunny skies, however, also throughout the weekend as we have this wonderful drier air entering the area. For Jacksonville, if you're going to shop or go to the beach this weekend or enjoy some museums, definitely perfect weather to do so. It's going to be beautiful in the low to mid 70s this weekend, also sunny skies to enjoy. If you're planning to go to Pensacola, maybe beach weather, this will be great for you. Some wonderful sunny skies also in the low to mid 70s as well. If we take a look at our radar in South Florida, we may have a stray shower or two south of Lake Okeechobee, but overall passing clouds and not a lot to worry about. As we move into Central Florida, we begin to see some of those stray showers ahead of the cold front as it's pushing south through the state, and we can even see more of that as the last of it is exiting the Tallahassee, Big Bend to South Georgia region right now. Those stray showers are entering east and south, but we're going to see some wonderful drier air behind us to enjoy for our weekend. And as we take a look into the next day or so, we see again those showers begin to clear out, and even the clouds begin to clear out. As we look into tomorrow morning, we should expect mostly clear skies for much of the state. And again, those temperatures will stay a little bit cooler and a little drier, still maybe a little above average for this time of year, but still it's a little bit of relief as we have had some very warm weather the past several weeks. So going into tonight, we're going to see some showers in Tampa and Jacksonville, but across Tallahassee and Pensacola, as that front is going to push out, we're going to see some cloudy skies, but lows will dip into the mid 50s, and much of Central and South Florida will see some upper 60s to low 70s as well. Tomorrow, we're going to see again that cool down and drier air. Most of us will be seeing sunny to partly cloudy skies, and much of us in the mid 70s, and even in South Florida, we're going to see some 80s as well. So lots to enjoy to this weekend. But Matthew, tell us about the Southeast.
Yeah, as we look around the Southeast right now, you can see we are looking very nice. The sun has set, and a lot of these places in New Orleans, you have that beautiful color aura just there, and a lot of clouds as the sun is set in Charlotte and Richmond overall. We look at the Southeast, you can see the cold front has brought those temperatures down in the western portions, but you can see that cold front is starting to make its way as it pushes up into Atlanta and Charlotte and even down into Florida at this moment. The winds, you can see, as the wind is pushed through, it's starting to bring it out of the north, but the areas that have not seen the cold front, like Titusville and Miami, are still getting winds out of the south for the most part, just like Birmingham as well. So we'll continue to watch as that cold front pushes through here. You can see it's going to bring that colder weather as it's going to start forcing its way down for Saturday. Great time to enjoy your outdoor plans as that high pressure will sit in and take a lot of cloud coverage away. So a great time to enjoy your outdoor activities. And that cold weather will start sitting around in the mornings, but into Sunday you can see some of those warmer temperatures down in the Tallahassee area will start starting to rise again. The humidity, you're going to start seeing, it's going to start dissipating thanks to that cold front. It's going to start drying us out and start bringing us into those 40 and 50 ranges overall, which will make it feel very nice outside. No humidity to deal with except here in South Florida, where it still will be fighting to keep it in the 60s overall. But for the most part in those areas, it will be looking very nice. For Charlotte, well, you're going to see those temperatures are going to start staying in the 60s, but as we get into the work week next week, you're going to start seeing those temperatures will start climbing back into the 70s, but those lows will be in the 40s overall. Nashville, same type of story. You'll start warming up towards the end of the week, lows in the 40s, but Friday will be very cold. You're going to want that jacket as it'll be in the 50s and 60s, maybe even a pair of pants, because it's going to be just a little bit more chillier than I think some of us have been used to with all the hot temperatures we've been seeing. Tampa, well, it's still going to be very hot in Tampa for the most part. Sitting in the 80s, not really changing a whole lot, but Saturday, the chance of the 50s for your low, but the clouds will start peeling apart a little bit for Saturday for your Saturday plans. So if you're trying to enjoy that, enjoy it to its fullest. Go out on the bay, enjoy it. It'll be a great time to be outside. And New Orleans, you can see we will be cooling down into the 70s, but the 80s will start popping up with some showers on Monday, and those lows will start climbing back up into the 70s. So Danielle, what is going on in the continental U.S.?
Yeah, so across the United States, we're seeing all of us a little bit of a cool down. So it's not only Florida, it's everyone right now, which is about time. It is well deserved for much of us. We even see a classic weather in Seattle, 46 and rainy, 50 and clear skies in Bismarck. We even have 81, however, in Glendale. But even in the northeast as well, we have some 40s and 50s. But what's really interesting here is taking a look at our dew points. We have very dry weather across the central and Pacific Northwest, but even here in Boston, a dew point of 4. That is incredibly low for Boston. Very dry weather, bone dry, in fact, and there's a lot fire weather warnings as well to be aware of in Boston. But as we move farther south, we will still have higher dew points slightly, but those will also begin to decrease as that cold front overnight tonight will begin to push through. And we can even see this on the current radar and satellite. We see cold front here in a low pressure spinning off into our north and east, even giving some relief for Boston as well, getting some of that much needed rain to get rid of that fire hazard. And even here, take a look at the fronts. We have cold front pushing through for Florida. Much of the central and western parts of the U.S. are seeing high pressures, but as we go into more northwest, we will have some more rainy and snowy conditions in the higher elevations going to the next day or so. As we look through this weekend, rain totals will remain fairly low for much of the country, very sporadic, but we will see some heavier totals towards the very eastern portions of North Carolina, as well as the very western portions of Oregon and Washington. So as we take a look, some relief we'll have throughout this weekend. We're going to have some below average temperatures, and through tonight, we're going to see mainly 20s, 30s, and 40s, and even some 50s across the area. And going through tomorrow, again, more mild cool down temperatures and a lot of drier air to enjoy. But also, even though it's the middle of November, it's still hurricane season, guys. So we still have things to look out for and a lot of tropics to still talk about.
Yeah, I mean, you look outside, we have Sarah right now in the Atlantic right now, which is just starting to spin off into the Yucatan, which we're hoping will just stay out there and not develop into anything else.
Yeah, so there was a lot of talk that there was possible model consensus that it would stay in the Caribbean, either go into the Yucatan, come back in the Gulf, possibly impact Florida. There's a lot of different scenarios, but what's so interesting and unique about hurricanes is that it's constantly changing, and this is the updated information that we have been given. So as of now, it is set to make landfall in the Yucatan, bring heavy rainfall that can actually cause a significant flood threat to the Honduras and surrounding areas as well.
Yeah, we're still going to monitor it. We're still going to watch it, as it's still uncertain how it will impact the U.S., if it'll bring rain. But we do expect that there may be some sort of impact from this storm, but we will continue to watch it to see how it develops overall.
And just as a quick reminder, I know hurricane season is coming to an end, but if anything is to form and impact your area, please always remember your evacuation areas, flood zones, and always obey orders from your local officials.
Yeah, just because it's Thanksgiving does not mean hurricane season is over. So make sure that you're having those preparations in place for hurricane season, as there still is the chance we could get some even after the season is over. There's always the remote possibility there's one or two. So we'll continue to watch it, but make sure you have those preparations in place. You probably had a lot of practice with all the activity we've had this year, but continue to make sure you have those preparations in place, that you're continuing to watch, and make sure that you're being vigilant, and make sure that if something happens that you have a backup plan in case something were to go wrong.
Certainly, and also always reference the National Hurricane Center if needed. But now we are going to move on into our sports cast. So what's going on? There's a lot of sports happening, Matthew.
Oh yes, even here in Tallahassee, we have plenty of sports to look forward to. We're going to look at tonight's Thursday night game. It's a game that I need big time for my fantasy team. You're going to see as those temperatures will be relatively stable, with the clouds persisting, keeping it relatively stable. So if you're going to that game in Philadelphia and you just might need that jacket or blanket, as it will be cold. For our Florida State women's soccer team, they start the first round here in Tallahassee against Sanford, as they earned that #1 seed when they beat UNC in the ACC championship. You're going to see very clear skies. It'll start out in the 70s, but you could see all the way by the end of game time, you could possibly have temperatures in the upper 50s, so make sure you are taking those preparations. And even if you're not going to the basketball game, or the soccer game, I should say, there is the basketball game, and those temperatures will be similar. Even though you are inside, you're probably going to want that jacket, as it will be a little bit colder once you get out of the Tucker Center. You see here Utah versus Colorado in Boulder. You can see it's actually going to warm up as the game goes along, so that might be a little bit of a surprise, but still low 50s, so you're still going to want that jacket, maybe that blanket to keep you warm. If you're going to watch that team from down south that we just don't like very much in Gainesville, you're going to see the temperatures will really drop off. About a 10-degree temp drop, so if you're going to that game, you're definitely going to want a jacket. Maybe for the fourth quarters, it will get a little bit colder, so make sure you are watching that. Tennessee, we're hoping that you can pull off a big victory, because it would be an upset at Georgia. But you can see the temperatures will be pretty much stable, as they'll stay in the lower 50s for the most part with that clear skies. And the Raiders and Dolphins, temperatures are going to be a little cloudy, but it will be mid-70s for the most part. Jags, relatively stable temperatures, even though, guess what, you will be inside, so make sure you are watching that. Falcons, Broncos, same type of deal. And the Bengals, Chargers, it will be clear skies with relatively stable temperatures. So we're going to actually start taking a look at our lifestyle here in Tallahassee. What are you going to be doing tonight or this weekend? You can see in Panama City campus, we've got a beautiful sunset right now. St. George Island, you got a little bit of some cloud coverage. And at the Sportsplex, if you're looking for that flag football or soccer game, just be aware the ground is a little bit more wet, so just be aware that you're going to want that towel for your cleats. For the dog walking forecast tomorrow, you're going to see it's going to start out a little bit cold. You're probably going to want that jacket and maybe that dog vest if you have one for your dogs. It might be just a little too cold for your dog or for yourself, as we're just not used to the type of heat that we are cold that we're going to be seeing. Here, the beach, 74 degrees, a little bit of wind out of the south, but overall looking very nice. For your stargazing conditions tonight, it will be relatively fair. There might be a couple of clouds here and there because that cold front pushing through. The moon is going to be really close to a full moon. We're almost there, but just not yet. If you're looking for those airport delays, well, there are none. So it's a great time if you're trying to fly out of TLH and go home before homecoming. It's a great time. And for the most part, we're not seeing very many delays across the continental U.S. since that cold front bringing that high pressure, which has allowed the airplanes to just be able to fly very clearly without any problems. Sportsplex, same type of deal. It will be very wet. You're going to want that towel. You're going to want to be able to just make sure you have just maybe even extra change of clothes with how wet you're going to be because of the ground just being wet from the rain we've seen today. Nightlife, it will drop off into the 60s, so you're going to want that jacket tonight unless you're from up north and you're used to that type of cold weather. But here in Florida, that is something that we consider winter weather. You're going to see the weekday forecast. You're going to see we're going to dip just a little bit into the 40s, but we will start warming up towards the beginning of next week overall. And the countdown, Thanksgiving is 2 weeks away. Hopefully it would come sooner, but we are ready for it here in Tallahassee. So Danielle, what are we seeing elsewhere?
Yeah, so here back in Tallahassee, giving you your last look at the weather for this weekend. Right now we're mostly cloudy. Again, we're going to see the clouds clearing out as the front is beginning to move out of our area. Currently 74 degrees, calm winds, and here we even see the front moving out of our area on radar. Again, we see these stray showers ahead of the front beginning to push well to our east and south. So parts of central Florida will begin to see some of this weather later tonight. But here again, going into tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, we will have some passing clouds coming from the north tomorrow, but by tomorrow afternoon, again, we'll see a clear out and a lot more drier, comfortable, perhaps even more fall-like weather for the Big Bend and South Georgia. Current temperatures across the region, we're seeing 70 in Quincy right now, 71 in Marianna, a little bit warmer towards the coast in Apalachicola at 76. And those dew points right now are still fairly muggy just because we've had a rainy couple of days and some overcast skies. However, as that front begins to push through and set itself in, we will begin to see a drop in those dew points, making it a lot more comfortable and enjoyable outside. And today our high was 79, still above average, especially our low as well. Low is 67, is above our average for this time of year. Definitely nowhere quite near our record yet, but thankfully we won't have to worry about that for the next couple of days, as we will see a cool down coming into this weekend. Tonight, definitely bring a jacket if you're going to be out late. It's going to dip into the mid-50s, partly cloudy skies tonight before it clears out tomorrow morning, late or early afternoon. Going into tonight's forecast, we will have some stray showers possible in Madison County and in Valdosta, but most of the region will begin to see some low to mid-50s and towards the coast some upper 50s as well, with some partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow, if you're going to class, if you have class early in the morning like I do, definitely bring a sweatshirt, hoodie, maybe perhaps some layers, as the sun's going to come out tomorrow afternoon and we're going to see some mid-70s. We will have a breeze from the north, however, so keep that in mind. Definitely some fresh air to enjoy. Going into the highs for tomorrow, most of us are going to be seeing low to mid 70s in sunny skies, so beautiful weather to experience. And as we look into the week ahead, again, a little bit more taste of that fall weather for Tallahassee. We're going to see lows in the 50s and perhaps even the upper 40s. Afternoon highs staying consistently in the mid to upper 70s going into next week. But we may have some rain chances for next week as well, so definitely keep a lookout for that. But overall, definitely some relief coming in for Tallahassee.
Yeah, and I'm glad, because guess what? I'm tired of the cold temperatures. I want to be able to relax. That dynamics test today took a lot out of me, and I just want to be able to take a nice long nap tonight and just not think about other stuff before tomorrow rises and I got more homework.
I definitely agree. I'm so happy to be able to be outdoors this weekend after the dynamics exam, seeing that I've been inside. It's been cloudy, it's been raining for the past couple of days, and I just need sunlight and I need enjoyable weather. That definitely, I guess, helps a lot of people's moods, including my own.
Yeah, I will be taking a nice long break this weekend. I have a couple projects to work on, but I will be trying to enjoy the nice weather we will have thanks to this cold front. Maybe not going out early in the mornings, as I'm not a huge cold fan, but I will be trying to enjoy it to its fullest.
You got any plans this weekend?
I'm actually going back home. I will be hanging out with some friends back home, so looking forward to that.
Nice.
So,
well, definitely staying here in Tallahassee, but if you were wanting to enjoy the cooler weather, definitely go to the North Florida Fair before they close on the 17th. So that's where I will be this weekend, enjoying some fair weather. But make sure to follow us on X at FSU Weather.
Don't forget to follow us on Facebook at FSU Weather as well.
And also, we are on Instagram, so make sure to follow us there as well at FSU Weather.
If you're not already watching us on YouTube, watch us on YouTube and subscribe.
And also, we have TikTok. Don't forget about TikTok at FSU Weather.
We're going to take one last look out at the 7-day forecast for this week.